All right, well, let's kick this thing off. We got Mike, otherwise known as Muzz, here from Lightning Ventures. Awesome dude in Bitcoin. Met him a year ago. I think where was the first event? Was it where did we meet, Mike, for the first time? I'm spacing.
Probably unconfiscatable, maybe.
Yes, yeah, you're right. That's right. And yeah, since then we've just become buddies. Been able to get to know you a little bit. Joined Lightning Ventures as an LP inside AngelList, and I think what you guys are doing is awesome, and just wanted to pull you in here today and talk a little bit about, investing in Lightning companies and what the decision-making process looks like. And, obviously Voltage, we're providing infrastructure for a lot of these startups, and, established companies who want to have reliable, scalable, fast node solutions, liquidity and all that. But maybe kick us off a little bit just with what's going on in the investing VC world right now.
Oh boy, the investing VC world. It's fun. Um, it's slowed down a little bit. Not the amount of deals to invest in, and not the amount of amazing companies that there are, and amazing people who are building. But just the pace at which people are investing, and the pace at which deals are really getting done. Things are still closing. It's just like taking longer. It just seems like everything is taking longer. But it couldn't be brighter in terms of in general. I mean, we try to invest in companies that are decoupled from short-term price volatility. So price goes up, price goes down. People are going to still be firing up nodes. They're going to be spinning the wheel and earning sats back, and buying debit cards and earning sats back on purchases and all that stuff. So yeah, we're not invested in any mining, but we're looking at some mining now, which is really sensitive to price fluctuations.
Yeah. Um, well, I guess tell us some background to Lightning Ventures. What got you to start this uh, company, and maybe a little bit about your Bitcoin background? Because I actually don't know how you discovered Bitcoin and just kind of the story behind the brand. If we could maybe jump off from there.
Yeah. So I'm a late 2012 Bitcoiner. I remember that Thanksgiving table with my ex-girlfriend at the time, and their family just laughed me out of there. And I was the nut job, right? But yeah, that was pretty much when I got going, and didn't buy much, right? Because it's always a scam in the beginning, right? But just learned as much as I actually used BitInstant. Not many people can say that, really. Probably not even a lot of people maybe even heard of BitInstant, Charlie Shrem's old company. And I'm actually convinced if BitInstant was still around today, it would be like a unicorn. I mean, they would probably be like everything cool that like things like BitPay aren't, or they would just be great. But that and Mt. Gox, I still have a valid claim on Mt. Gox, actually. Still waiting on that. Uh, but but yeah, and that's actually what made me take my own Bitcoin storage pretty seriously, was that Mt. Gox thing. That was a bitch, for sure. That was a very depressing, cold, bad time to be a Bitcoiner. Like, you think this is bad right now? You think this is negative? If this is hard for you, holy shit! After Mt. Gox, Silk Road, Mt. Gox, really not a fun time to be a Bitcoiner. But then that's what happens, right? Then you all of a sudden you start learning making paper wallets, and thinking of other ways to never trust one of those exchanges again, and call them all scams. And that was pretty much that. So then I started working with Mr. Tone Vase, who was also in New York. Actually, you know what happened? No, I actually had the second bar in New York that had a Bitcoin ATM. The bar was called Old Man Hustle on the Lower East Side, and it was a homemade ATM. Had like a tablet on the top, but had a bill acceptor. Certainly worked. It was a real piece of hardware. But this guy basically came and dropped it off, and that ATM was like always full. Like it just the bill acceptor was constantly filled so much that I just had to keep calling this guy. Like, you got to get over here and empty this freaking thing because people keep showing up wanting to use it. Um, but yeah, that was a lot of fun, and like the gnarliest dudes used Bitcoin ATMs back then too. It's not like today it's your local little market. Like, oh, there's a Bitcoin ATM in this casino, honey. Oh yeah, that's cute. This was like a gnarly freaking dude, like rolling into this bar, like, you know, gnarly, just straight to the back, straight to the machine. Um, just hundreds, just in as much as you could go. But yeah, so that was fun. And then I met Tone, and I was in the music business for a while. And what Tone was doing, at least at the time, doing workshops in person, traveling around, doing some speaking, keeping a lot of people out of scams, and with the highest integrity for all of that. So started working with him, basically getting him booked. He did his workshops all over. And then we did Unconfiscatable. I think there's been three so far. Hopefully there's a fourth one. I mean, we'll see. But yeah, we did the first year, which was great. I mean, Jack Mahlers was there, and Max and Stacy were there. Saifuddin was there. Peter Todd's been there a few times. And it's just kind of one of those size events. It's like maybe 300-400 people, not like overly crowded, like Bit Block Boom. Maybe that was a little bit bigger this year, but like everyone's approachable, and we make a whole weekend of it. We do a poker tournament, and do a carnivory dinner, and like it's cool. So yeah, that the third year is when Voltage was there, uh, right, Bobby? It was the third year, right? Last year.
Yeah, yeah, that was last year, and it was great. It was a really good conference. We got to connect with a ton of people, and I loved it.
Yeah, cool. And then I started angel investing, or I guess I would say investing in private companies, mostly later stage in like 2015. So it's always been like something that I really liked. Like, I was convinced that investing in private companies is like the best way to make money, the life-changing money. And it is, which is why they make it very difficult for the average person to do it. And then just kind of thought like, okay, well, where can I be impactful? Like, what can I do? And then that's when Lightning Ventures happened. Raised a super small friends and family little fund, not charging anyone any fees on that, and developing the syndicate, which you're a member of. And I would love to hear you, Bobby, explain what a syndicate is to all these people. What is your definition?
Yeah, my definition probably won't align with what you see on Angel List, but to me, practically, what it is, whenever I register on Angel List, I can, elect who I want to be kept in the loop by, whichever lead VC there is, and there's hundreds, probably thousands on there. I chose specifically Bitcoin led VCs, and someone like you may have a fund where you might have to put in 5, 10, 25K, whatever, a quarter, and it can roll, and you commit to like 2 to 4 quarters, or you can just do it on a deal by deal basis, which is what I prefer to do. And you can usually put in minimums as low as like $1,000 or $2,000, and for me, that's super convenient because I want to support the brands and products that I love and use, and I want to be a part of that community and like bring value and perspective and just play a role in the community. But that's really what it is for me. I don't really have a ton of cash in there, but I think it's a great way to get involved and to support and just kind of be a small pea in the pod with everyone else.
Yeah, and at this early stage, you have the ability to like be impactful. Um, if you invest in a company, no matter how small, it's actually irrelevant, because if you have the ability to help that company in any way, you you can really get a lot out of it. Okay. We have some awesome people in the group who, like, maybe they're attorneys. Okay. And maybe they invest in a company, and the company needs something, and they're able to just step in and do it. Right. Maybe they do a little bit for free. Maybe it turns into a client relationship. Maybe, they get a good deal because they've already invested in the company, but it's like a really good place to be, you know, especially for you with marketing, and even your role at Voltage, right?
Yeah, yeah. And that's too, I think, for people listening, you might not be a massive capital allocator or have like $50,000 you can bring to a deal, but if you want to allocate, 1,000 or 2,000 maybe do
Yo,
a deal
Bobby,
or
you're
four.
you're you're in the Matrix, bro.
So what he's basically saying is that, you don't have to have a lot of money to do this stuff. You don't have to invest $50 to $100,000 into a deal. It doesn't take that much. And if anything, this stuff takes years to learn and probably a lifetime to master. So it's always best to invest small amounts of money, right? If you had $50,000 to invest, you are much better off investing $5,000 into 10 deals, or even better, $2,500, and double it. It's not really good to invest maybe in 2 deals for 25,000. Now, I mean, you got to do what's right for you. I just mean that I think having a micro bet thesis and learning as much as you can, reading the founder updates, trying to help where you can. That's basically, I mean, that's everything, because I've invested in over 1,500 companies. Okay. That's insane asylum land. Okay. That's absolutely ridiculous. And when you count the follow-ons, it's over 2,000 total investments, right? Because you invest again as companies start doing well, and you have the opportunity to, if you can. So you see a lot of stuff. I mean, you see a company where you invest, and maybe it's an $8 million cap on a safe note. Then all of a sudden they're worth 30, 40 million. They're raising again on another safe note. Oh my God, now it's worth 80. All right. Now it's worth 500. This company is raising on a $500 million. Maybe it's convertible debt. Maybe it's a safe note, whatever it is, right? 500. And you invested the whole way up. You invested at 8, 20, 50, 100, and now at 500. Okay. So things look rosy, right? And you're reading the investor updates and and things look real, real peachy. And then you open up TechCrunch, and they're on the cover of TechCrunch. Hey, whatever, name it. And Southeast Asia's largest private company, or whatever, is shutting down the super app of this country. Zero, nada, bupkis. It's over. Okay. So what's been going on for the past 2 years? Because you're sitting in your head thinking, oh, I don't know, maybe you're on a 50x markup, a 60x markup, right? Which, that's a whole nother discussion, is how do you value a markup? A safe note and then another safe note, that's not a markup, bro. Okay? I mean, it's not. You can get all kind of creative with the numbers and how you want to think about it. But what a while.
Can you
Yeah.
explain that for people who don't know what safe notes are, maybe that are new to like what investing is, real quick?
Yeah, sure. So a safe note was created by Y Combinator, right? And if you don't know what YC is, they're the most revered accelerator that's out there, right? We're talking Coinbase and Dropbox and you name it. They just have an incredible track record. Started by Paul Graham, who, by the way, if you ever get bored, and if you go to Paul Graham's website, he's got the best lectures, period. Like, his essays are absolutely insane, life-changing. Paul Graham, he started YC. So before that, what you had convertible debt and you had equity, right? So convertible debt, you have a cap. Okay. which is a valuation cap, is often what it's referred to. And then you have a interest rate, right? Because it's debt. Okay, it looks like debt, so it's got debt components. It's got an interest rate, and it has a maturity date, right? Which debt also has. So people who invest in those type of deals, when you use convertible debt, what you're doing is you're not saying my company is worth this. You're not giving a priced deal. All right, that's the only time you actually know what you own of the company, and the founders actually know what they've sold, is only when it's in fact a priced round. Okay, you have a share price. When you do a convertible debt or a note or one of these type of things, you're punting that question. You're punting that valuation question. All of a sudden, I don't know what my company's worth. It's worth somewhere between 0 and 10 million. I'll tell you that much. And we can both agree on that, right? 0 and 10 million. Do we agree? Yeah. Okay. So there's an interest rate that's paid that investor invests. And then depending on the person's next round, okay, depending on the next round of funding, that's when that 0 to 10 is converted into real equity, right? When there is a real priced equity round. So Paul Graham cranking out this accelerator, he's like, you know what, convertible debt, that's for the birds, right? Let's take a few things out of there that we don't really need anymore. First off, let's make it so it's not debt. Okay, we're not calling it debt. There's no interest rate. All right, there's no maturity date. There's no date at which it would auto convert, or a number of other type of things that you can put in there, right? Let's get that out of the play, and let's just call it safe. It's a simple agreement for future equity, basically saying, okay, my company's worth between 0 and 10 million. We can both agree on that. Now there's no interest rate, and until that founder eventually raises a real round, all right, a qualified equity financing that's priced, we don't really know what we have, okay? And the same that the company doesn't really know what they've sold. So these things can also have a discount aspect of it too. So if it's between 0 and 10 million, okay, and it doesn't fund over the 10 million, okay, it doesn't clear that cap for that big round of funding. It comes in at maybe 7 million, 8 million, all right. The early investors who invested in that convertible debt or safe note or that instrument will get a 20% discount on that conversion, right? So the new money is coming in saying, hey, we love this company. We're going to invest $1 million on a 7 million pre-money valuation. That's a priced round. So all those people who invested on that 0 to 10 kind of safe note with a 20% discount, they're going to convert with the same shares, same terms as that investor that's coming in later. Okay, but they're also going to get a 20% premium, a 20% bonus, because they invested previously. They should get a bonus, right? Because if they don't get a bonus, what ultimately happened? Well, they just loaned that company money for free for, I don't know, 6, 12, 18 months, however long it is, and they've gotten nothing. They're converting at the same price that those future equity investors are converting at, and they're basically getting further diluted, right? That's ultimately like what happens. So yeah, that's it. Forgot why you asked me that, Bobby.
No, yeah, you were using some terms I think a lot of people might not understand, but that's good to break that down. But kind of one thing that I'm very curious of, because I know as the market has a downturn and everything seemed as though it was like way overvalued whenever interest rates were low, does this create a compelling environment for people maybe who are very interested in Bitcoin and Lightning to invest in some of these companies, that we all use day in and day out? I see a lot of deal flow coming through AngelList of websites, startups, companies that me and my friends use literally every day in Bitcoin. So if I get a chance to like throw a grand at it because I believe they're going to be a powerhouse one day, for me, that's great. Obviously, like not financial advice, but does the current market drive values down slightly where there's less just assumptions of these like massive future growth? So it like creates opportunity during this downtime. Like, how would you express that?
Oh my gosh. It is it is nice to see things revert back to a norm. Okay, because just in any kind of, now you're a real estate guy, okay, but for anyone out there who's, froth, all right, the absolute froth of the bullish of the bulls, right? Think of any market, pick a market, the overall irrational exuberance of people. Okay, and that comes when this world of what founders think their companies are worth, or what they go out and try to raise at, and it's and also the individual LP, a limited partner, the investors, the angel investors, too. Everyone's ability to actually pull the trigger and invest. Like, it just slows down. So like before, you had, this is there's like a really hot company out there, like Voltage, for example. Voltage, I've been dying to invest in Voltage. Are you kidding me? I mean, luckily I did invest in Voltage personally, right? I had an opportunity in another person's syndicate. I think I invested once or twice. I got to check. But that was me personally, right? So by the time we first reached out to invest the fund in Voltage, it was too late. You know what I mean? Things happen fast. A lot of times you talk to a company, they're raising, maybe you got a full plate, you're trying to close things up. And by the time you circle back shortly after, it's full. It's gone. Adios. We'll see you next time. Okay. And we just got out of that. And I actually much prefer this type of market. I prefer it where things are slower, at an orderly pace. We can all take our time, And yeah, I'm sure a lot of founders are frustrated with that this time, but there's a lot of asinine kind of valuations in everything, right? And I think we just saw that recently. I think that there was like $100 million seed round at the height of something not too long ago, and like that's pretty ridiculous. But there's no shortage of like good projects to fund. There's no shortage of like cool stuff. Maybe some of it is borderline hobby and might be a cottage industry or a good business for one person. There's a lot of that too. But man, there's a ton of cool stuff out there right now, man. I see we got a couple of syndicate backers in here right now. Josh Friedman's in here. Who else is in here? Is that it? I don't know if there's any syndicate backers here. Like, can you like raise your hand? I'm not like a Twitter Spaces expert. I don't really know what's going on here, but
If you're in the syndicate, slap an emoji or something just so Mike can see. Like, slap it a few times because you got to scroll up and down. But Mike, another thing that really has me interested is, how do you decide and discern what startups to invest in? And I guess my first thought is, when it comes to Lightning, like, it's such a small market. It's so nascent. Like, people don't really understand it yet. And even a year ago, whenever I was asking like engineers and just different builders, like, what is this thing going to be used for long term, there wasn't necessarily a definitive answer. That was at Tab 2021. I feel like there's a lot more clarity in the market, but you probably see a lot of deals. So like, how are people viewing Lightning in the right way, and how are people viewing it in the wrong way? I feel like that's a good question potentially.
okay. So as far as making decisions, right, on investing, I think that was the first part of your question. So, everyone has different things that they like, right? Everyone has a different flavor, a different style in life. You like, music and how you dress and what you eat. So, my particular taste is for like what I just said, companies that are going to withstand like a volatile price market. Like, there are certain things that just make sense to me. Okay, like, I mean, Coin Corner. Coin Corner makes sense to me. Bitstack makes sense to me. Like sustainable businesses, right? Like some type of like obscure node management stuff. Okay, stuff's great. Like we're going to need it. Um, but it's such a small market. Okay. Things like Pay with Moon, being a global debit card option, right? With no sign up required. Okay. And them B2B being able to offer that white label for other companies, right? That's like a massively scalable business. Like that's huge. Digital markets like liquid, uh, as a security to like help companies raise and reinvent. That's huge. So these type of things like we love, a lot of this stuff like, we try to focus on like bigger markets. Okay. But a lot of it is very similar, right? I mean, how many DCA apps are there going to be? These are some of the questions. Geographically, they're kind of all over the place. But is there going to be a lot of consolidation in this space? Those type of things that I love, right? You look at growth rates. I mean, we just did that deal with Bitstack. They're growing 30 to 40% month over month. They have a 90-day retention, a 75% retention at 90 days. Those type of things. You try and look for those, and it's good to see things that are done. Sometimes somebody comes to you with an idea, or they're not necessarily incorporated, or they have the wrong incorporation, right? Maybe they're an LLC, I don't know, and they just haven't launched yet. Like as a general rule, you can try to stay away from like pre-launch companies, pre-product market fit, pre-MVP. Or you do like someone like Max Webster does. He loves being in early, like mad early, and that can be scary for a lot of people. So I look at things like, I'm a simple guy, Bobby, right? We're simple guys. Earn sats back every time I shop online. Hello, all day long, bro. Like without question.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, scalable, amazing, fantastic business, incredibly sticky, like killer. Um, Something like Azteco, global distribution. Um, I mean, freaking Crowd Health, for crying out loud. I mean, my God, why would anyone ever have insurance? I mean, period. It's just what a freaking scam that is. Um, Play to earn, Thunder Games. Like, I don't think I'm particularly a genius here. Like, these are just rad companies. You know what I mean? I mean, they're the ones doing all the hard work. Honestly, the thing that gets me nuts is when other people pass on some of these things. I'm like, are you guys out of your mind?
Yeah, absolutely. Where's the biggest need in these companies? Like once they're you and your team invest in them, and they got the capital they need. What's typically the biggest problem they need to address or they need to solve? Is it engineering? Is it marketing? Like what is it that you get the most request or support that these founders need?
Well, here's the thing. Okay. Here's the biggest mistake that you can make, in my opinion, as a founder, and that is not reaching out, not actually keeping your investors and everyone who has the same interests aligned with you, keeping them on board. Okay. You don't have to write an update once a month. It'd be amazing if you did, and some people do. And I think that it's overall a great exercise. It's a great habit. It's a great thing for a founder to write and update every month. And it doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be long. It can just be a short little thing. But, then they have to actually ask. You have to ask your investors for help, which sometimes they'll send a great update. A founder will send a great update, and there's literally no asks. So, however many people we have that invest in that deal, which only updates are only sent to people who invested in that one particular deal. Okay. If there's no asks there, then like kind of like what are we supposed to do? And it doesn't even have to be a big ask. It could be anything. It could be freaking, hey, can you retweet this? Can you up this on LinkedIn? Can you upvote us on Product Hunt? I mean, hey, we're trying to find a part-time marketing person, blah, blah, blah. Like whatever you just need. Just be proactive, like with the investors. Okay. So as far as like what they need the most, definitely hiring. Definitely a shortage of hiring right now, and like quality. There's just too many jobs open. You know, if you're whatever you're doing, they're hiring for. So I think that's it. And also, which you have something to do with it, is marketing and advertising. Why is there no PR firm specifically for Bitcoin companies? I mean, it's
Dude,
absurd.
I, I was just gonna say I agree. I've been beating the table on this, like just internally and with people I know. I've hit up so many PR companies, and they all just focus on crypto, and they don't even look at my website, like the voltage.cloud website, before we meet, and they assume we're doing NFTs or we want to launch a token, and I'm just like, do you literally not research who reaches out to you before you get on the call? And there is none. You're absolutely right, and it's hard to find people who understand this stuff. It's definitely challenging.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, on the marketing front too, I think you nailed it on the head there. I've had multiple companies like reach out. And I'm not going to name names just because that wouldn't be proper, but where their team like asks for us to like do marketing for them, or for maybe like me to share ideas and different things. And I've a lot of them I love collaborating and meeting, but some of them it's just kind of like, wait, you literally want us to kind of do that for you? And I think one reason it's because like a lot of like the Bitcoin community and what's being built is from like different nations, walks of life, and just like how business is operated. It's not all just America, which we're used to. Like in America, like we all act and think differently, but there's a huge shortage of marketers in Bitcoin. And like we've talked about before, like the incentive is to go work in the shitcoin land or in Ethereum, because you might get paid 2 to 3 times as much because they raise more capital. But that kind of shifts my mind to another point. Is I saw a chart that broke down what was invested into crypto just broadly, over the last 3 to 4 years, and I think last year it went up like 3 to 4x, which was crazy to see, just the amount of money pouring in. But um, share some perspective on that. Are a lot of these funds and just VCs, are they shifting from some of these just like SaaS companies more focusing on crypto, like people that are outside of Bitcoin and crypto? Are they now leaning towards it because they really view that as the future?
well, first off, unfortunately, it is still a big crypto world out there. Okay, it is still amazing how much ridiculous belief there is in some of this absolute nonsense. Okay, in crypto and Web3, and your house is an NFT, and we're putting cans of tuna on a blockchain, and we're launching this thing in outer space, which like has a blockchain in it, just like the dumbest shit you could ever think of. And the whole thing. I mean, metaverse, you name it, like just ridiculous things. Um, and there's still a lot of money flowing into that crap. And it's amazing where a lot of people give that feedback. They're like, you just invest in Bitcoin companies. What about this? And it's like, no, we don't do that. Well, what about some weird bullshit other protocol that I heard? No, we don't do that. Well, what about like metaverse? No, we don't do that either. What about like, what's your view on stablecoins? Just like people are still stuck in that world. As far as the traditional VCs that were, SaaS or fintech, they're definitely, unfortunately, getting into that. Right? They're not bypass, because that's like the journey, right? No matter when you got into Bitcoin, there's probably at some point in time, you have some altcoins, or you entertain. Remember back in the day, oh my God, like Litecoin's is silver to the gold, and Walmart's going to accept Litecoin, and all this kind of bullshit, and Prime Coin, and Feather Coin, and Namecoin, and just, oh my God, there's just so many, and for a minute, okay, you're like, okay, maybe any of these is going to work, and and then you come back to reality, and you're like, no, I only care about Bitcoin. But these people, they can't skip that. They need that, and that for the VC exposure, instead of them being like shitcoiners on Poloniex back in the day and things like that, downloading these probably malware-ridden fucking clients, trying to run these stupid things and getting all the forks and all this nonsense. They skip. They don't get to go straight to the Bitcoin. They get to go into crypto world, which is, oh, this is like my robot's going to be paying your robot and it's going to use this kind. It's like, dude, you're out of your fucking mind. And these are supposed to be like really smart people. So I don't know. That's not really our style. So I'm sorry. I forgot your question.
No, you're good, man. You're good. I feel like there was some interest maybe for even like Q&A. So if anyone has questions, feel free to raise your hand and jump up here, because I feel like this is a hot topic for people. I feel like if people had the chance to invest in like Voltage, Amboss, Strike, or their favorite, platforms that they use day to day, they would jump on it. But I guess beyond what we've discussed thus far, like what's next for you guys? Have y'all been growing in terms of team, or what does it look like just over the next year for you?
Well, man, nobody's got a hand up, huh? I'm that boring. Nobody has a freaking question. Unbelievable. Anyway, so the first fund's about 71% deployed after all this stuff goes out. And really, I just want as many awesome people in the syndicate as possible. I want to have the best Bitcoin-only focused syndicate of accomplished, amazing people, that are there to support companies. When they send those asset updates, like, what can we do? I mean, someone reached out this morning. And I'm hoping that we can help. Like it happens every day. So I really want to see it. I really want to see that grow with people who can actually help. People who are motivated. Okay, we're not saving the manatees here. Okay, I mean everyone's making money. We can't we can't roll out a deal unless we actually believe in it. You know what I mean? Like, I can't do that. There are other syndicates out there. There are other people. It is a numbers game. They will just crank them out, as many deals as they can fill, whatever. They're not scheduling, 2 calls a year with the founder, checking in with them. How can we help? What can we do? Like, we're there to pass off every update. We're there to read your ass. We're there to try, right? We can show up and try. And whether that's helping out with a small thing like maybe some t-shirts, or helping in one of these ways, or maybe intros to a few other people to help fill out a round. That's it. So we still have this accredited investor hurdle, which sucks. So you still got to get past that. But then you're set. So that's the next step, right? Is being consistent with quality deals. And we don't do everything. We can't do everything, because when these things don't work, when they don't work, right? This is a high failure environment here, supposed to be. Somebody has to bear that bad news. Okay. And I've been on the other end of this many, many times. Bobby, I don't know if you've been investing in some early stage stuff, but maybe you haven't been, hopefully, knock on wood, you haven't got that email saying that XYZ company is unwinding, they're dissolving, and da-da-da-da. And maybe you get an apology letter from the founder that basically says, hey, here's what happened. Here is what you can learn from this experience, right? I don't have a problem with a company failing, okay? But what I have a problem with is a founder not just writing a little bit about what happened. Give us something. Let us learn something too. Oh, deliveries in 48 seconds is harder than we thought. That would be good. I mean, that's understandable. Hey, COVID in India annihilated us. Okay, whatever. Like, at least we know, right? Because ultimately, if you save every update from the companies, you can go back and you can do like a post-mortem on the thing. And when you get a deal that's, that eventually does unwind, okay, maybe they're acqui-hired, but no investors are getting paid, right? But another company kind of brings them all on. it's not necessarily that fun. And the first thing you're thinking is who the hell sent me that deal? And you go back and you look at that original deal memo and you think, and it's the greatest deal under the sun. And oh my God, everybody's in, and it's this and it's that, and it's na 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 na, right? And there's all these big checks and these big investors, and it's the greatest deal ever, right? And then what happens there? You get another update from the company 3-4 months later. Right, we had a little bit of trouble hiring. We got a slow start. We didn't meet our initial launch date. We this, we that, we whatever. And then, there's a couple more updates, and then it's, hey guys, this isn't happening. And hopefully you go on to support that founder. Like sometimes it takes 2, 3, 4 times. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And it looks like Arjun and Light Sats raised their hand. I'm going to let them ask a question, but I want to point out two things you said. One, you brought up some of these guys, they just fire through tons of deals, and you're absolutely right. Like from some of these folks, I get like 45 emails a month about companies, and I just unfollow them. But then when it comes to like you and a few others, like you guys really do hand select stuff. So I'd agree with that. You don't just throw what's up and see what sticks. But yeah. Arjun, hey, what's up, man?
Hey, folks. Sorry, I may have missed a lot of Mike, what you may have mentioned earlier that may be relevant to the question I'm about to ask. But I was just kind of looking to understand, just confirming my understanding that is there a syndicate that you're looking for folks to maybe participate in? I'll tell you what I'm looking for. I mean, I'm very interested in Bitcoin, obviously, and have made a jump in my career to try and be Bitcoin involved. Professionally, I work for Intel, and where we have a Bitcoin mining chip that we put out on the market and are pursuing that strategy. But personally, I want to get more involved with Bitcoin related businesses and see what opportunities exist. So yeah, just looking to understand a bit more of what you might have mentioned earlier. Apologies for missing it.
Well, yeah, we do have a syndicate. Lightning Ventures has a syndicate. We have a small fund that we raised, and we're going to raise another one. But yeah, the syndicate that we have, you can go to ltng.ventures if you already have a portfolio profile on AngelList. You can just click the apply button, and we'll take a look there. We have it on our website too. There's some links to some of that stuff, and it's actually the easiest if we have your email address, we can like send you this link to expedite that process. And so I don't know, maybe just a DM or something if anyone was interested in getting that link that bypasses that some of the AngelList process and time that it takes. We can definitely send that out. But yeah, that's all we're doing, man. That's all we're doing, and that's all we're here talking about. So I hope that you join.
Great, appreciate it. Thanks. I'll look you guys up. Thank you.
Look, we got Neil Jacobs in the house. Neil Jacobs is a quality syndicate backer. Good dude.
Let's go. What's up, Neil? Hey, Light Sass, what's up, man? I saw you raise your hand. Welcome.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Hey, Mike, it's Juan. I'm actually helping you find the contact for AdMob. We spoke on Telegram. Yeah, I'm just kind of like putting out my idea out there. So just gonna tell you guys a background. So I enrolled in the Bolt Fund Lightning Legends of the Lightning tournament. Pretty much signed up about like 3 weeks ago, and like the idea that I'm working on, it all came from Brad Mills' tweet that he posted about 3 weeks ago, saying that he wanted to be able to gift Bitcoin to people and then not have to onboard them on the spot, and then be able to recover the funds in case the person just didn't really seem interested. So I kind of like started writing up the project. I did a project scope, and then I signed up on Bolt Fund. And then I'm not a technical founder, but luckily the team was really supportive. And then I was able to assemble a team within like a matter of 3 days. I got some of the some of the guys from Albi helping me out right now. And then I like the full programmer. He's from New Zealand, but he's based out of Thailand. So we've been hacking away for like 3 weeks. I think we're at third week right now, and we have a working prototype. And then just essentially, so I could kind of like walk you quickly through the flow. So if, let's say I'm at a restaurant, or I'm like somewhere where I want to tip someone instead of giving them cash, I'll load up a tip with like, let's say $5, $10, and then it'll generate a QR code, and then the person can scan the QR code, and then it'll take them to the mobile web, and then they can claim the tip either with their phone number or email address, without having to have a Lightning wallet, right? So the user claims the tip, but then we have to onboard them. So kind of like what we're going to be building is a self-onboarding flow where we let users pick the type of experiences that they want to go through.
Hey, LightSats,
Yeah.
I love that you're shooting your shot, but do you actually have a question since we have other people here wanting
Oh
to?
yeah. No, sorry. So no, I just like I wanted to ask like how early of an idea like do you guys
Okay, here's question number
like
one.
have?
Hey, first off, are you incorporated?
No,
All right, so
not yet.
that's
So
it. End of story.
yeah.
All right, if you're not incorporated, you shouldn't be reaching out to VCs. It's one thing to be like, "Hey, I have a project, I'm developing it," but you really you can't expect too much until you get some of your house in order.
Exactly. No, I
Yeah,
understand.
so that's important, and that kills a lot of stuff. And one of the best things you can do as a founder, in my opinion, is to have a Google Drive and have it updated and keep your certificate of incorporation in there, or if you have any
Got it.
financials, or maybe a short executive summary, or a deck, or whatever or your cap table, even depending on where you're at. You know what I mean? So that you can easily send that to investors. Okay, and go that route.
Yeah, that's the data room, right? That you have to build everything.
But
Got it. No, yeah, totally makes sense.
but
All right, LightSats, we
Thank you.
appreciate it, man.
Thank you, guys.
Satsumoto, feel free to ask a question, or if you do shoot your shot, be quick.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, hey, Muzz, how are you doing?
what's
So I have a couple of questions just around how you assess companies. I'm based in Europe, and I just kind of want to know is there any difference in how you would assess a European company versus a US company? And my second question would be, does the team situation or setup play a large role in how you assess a company, like a single entrepreneur kind of founder versus a small team? And do you is your kind of risk assessment, your personal risk assessment, different to how you assess companies for the syndicate?
okay? All right. So first off, right, how to assess? Now this is easy. Okay, this is very proprietary information. You close your eyes, you hold your nose, and you pray. Okay, that's what you do. That is how you pick the best companies in this space. No. Well, the second part of your question is, does team play a large role? And a lot of times at the early stages, kind of the team is all you have. You probably don't have a lot of other real kind of due diligence that you can with a later stage company, right? Where maybe there's been previous financings, and you have maybe more of an established board. There's some other sort of metrics that you can really kind of draw out. So in the early stages, the team plays a huge role. The team is everything, right? And like, what's important about a team? I mean, there's a lot of things that people say, right? Like they say that if you're going to invest in a solo founder, he must be technical. Must. Okay, there are people who live by this rule. That's interesting, right? I mean, think about what you may, right? They say that the ideal founder pair is one who can sell and one who is technical. Okay, and a little bit, even if the one who can sell is like a tiny bit technical, that's like the gravy on top. But that's really the combination. That's really the combination that you want. But yeah, or what else can you consider? Like, did they work together? Did they work together at a previous company? It's very important. Okay, how did they handle dispute resolutions? Are they brothers? in the case of like Start9, or, plenty of companies get together with two brothers. I love those companies. You know why? Because they've been handling dispute resolution since they were 5 years old, fighting over the damn toy. Okay. Those are great, great founder pairs. So yeah, how to assess, right? I mean, you gotta think about what is important to you, right? Some people, they want to get in super early. They want to help, do some vision shaping, really get involved before something is built, right? And my comfort level is definitely later. I love to see some traction. I love to see a live product in the wild, that's growing at a great rate, right? So I like to look at those things, or just really innovative, new, different ideas, right? I mean, I love just supporting Bitcoin companies. I love doing this, okay? And I hope that the people in the syndicate enjoy investing, and we're just getting started. We're going to try to do our best. We make up for heart what we lack in check size, okay? That's no secret. But, just a lot of normie VCs, like, if it's not a bajillion-dollar idea, like, I'm not investing in it. You know what I mean? They can't, if it's not like the massive TAM, if it's not like a decacorn type of deal, they just don't want to invest at all. And I don't think that that's right. We don't make any of our decisions based on that. So we're happy to support smaller businesses. And I think it's too early to really tell what's going to be a small business and what isn't. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you. Yeah, I've spoken to a few other VC companies, and yeah, I kind of get the opinion they're looking for these big TAM kind of situations where they can make their money back pretty quick. And yeah, so I've spoken to a few different ones, and I just kind of have been a little bit turned off by the whole kind of way to approach them, or don't really know how to approach, don't know if I'm doing right or wrong, because you don't really get any feedback. So just kind of bootstrapping my way along, and then going to release our product in the next few weeks, and then just hopefully people will come to us then. So
yeah, I'm just checking it out now. So yeah, you should definitely send us a message, and let's definitely start that. But it looks really cool what you're doing there.
Thanks.
One thing to mention too, like Mike said, to invest in these type of deals, you need to be accredited. Typically, when you want to invest in some type of deal that requires either making 200K as an individual, 300K as married, or $1 million net worth, they require you to submit a letter verifying that. AngelList does not require you to verify it, so do with that as you may.
Bobby, what the fuck?
But their platform just allows you to sign up, so you better be ready to prove what you need to prove. But it's just interesting. AngelList will let anyone sign up, so we'll shift away from that. But Mike, I've gotten a message from multiple people. They said this was super helpful, and they appreciate just gaining some insights. But we got 5 minutes left here. What finally would you share just as we wrap up in these final minutes?
Oh, do we have to wrap up now? We're having so much fun here. Look, my man Beautyon's here. Neil Jacobs is here. Mel is here. Oh, so this is what a Twitter Spaces is. All right. Pretty cool. So look, as what Bobby said, it is a self-accreditation process. Okay. The SEC has defined this as a self-accreditation process. All right. So in most cases, you don't need, McShane says, let's keep it rolling. That's his vote. So you can click the right button. Okay. And there is no further documentation needed. Okay. There's two types of offerings. There's a 506B and a 506C. All right. So if you do a 506B, which all of these AngelList deals are, you're not allowed to advertise them publicly. Okay. But it is a self-accreditation process for the people who invest. All right. If you offer it as a 506C, which we're just flipping Geyser into a 506C, I can legally tell you that we have a live deal for Geyser right now. Okay, because we just made that change, all right? And they can put it on their website and they can tweet it out publicly, except for everyone who invests in that deal who hasn't invested in previous deals, or like the B offerings, has to actually verify something. I don't know what that looks like. Maybe it's just an email from an accountant. I really don't know. But that is the deal. So that is such a stupid scam that the government has with that accredited investor thing. But what Bobby said is true. It is a self accreditation process. And really, if we have the person's email and we send them that personalized link, then it's even easier. But at some point in time, that individual does need to click the right button.
Another thing, Mike, I read 6 to 9 months ago, I forget when this changed, but I know it's helped a lot of people get into like real estate funds that I'm in, but you can get your Series 7, I believe what it is, and just pass the test that you're a big brain person and you know how to manage money. So you can actually just get that and not even have the net worth, but it's like a way that the government is extending the opportunity for people to be called quote unquote accredited just by passing a test. So feel free to look at that. It might be the wrong test you need to pass, but either way, there's a way to do it without having the money or the net worth. But
Okay, I heard about the test thing. I didn't think that was live. I heard that there was some sort of like sophistication test that they're doing. As far as their recently expanded categories, some FINRA designations now qualify as accredited. So, like if you have a Series 7 or 65 or any one of these, you qualify without even meeting the income requirement, right?
Mhm.
Because it's a boys club and they only want to keep the special people in. So they're letting them in first with the least hassle. But you're also accredited investor if you click the right button, okay? That also deems you a accredited investor, all right? Cool, man.
Well, I do want to keep going. We do have to wrap up.
You got to get
But
back to
Mike, we'll
work or
have to.
something or what?
Yeah, man, you got to get back to closing deals and bringing some of these dreams to life, baby. Let's go. But we appreciate everyone being here. We'll probably have to do this again once bull season hits so we can hear the updates. But we thank you for taking the time, man. Truly appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. And this is awesome. Thank you very much.
All right. We'll see you next week.